Hey everybody, Pastor Will here with another Monday moment to kind of help you catch up on some of the things we talked about on Sunday and connect with you about what we've been talking about. Yesterday we talked about Moses' story again, and he was coming up with all kinds of excuses, reasons why he wasn't made for the job that God had for him to free his people from slavery. Moses was feeling overwhelmed by the task that God had asked him to do, and he said, "God, what am I going to say to these people? How are they going to believe that I'm from you?" And God pointed to the staff in Moses' hand, and he said, "What's that in your hand, Moses?" And God used this ordinary object in Moses' life to give him confidence and transform uh, his ministry. Essentially, Moses uses that staff all over the place. So the point of it all was that God has given us everything that we need to do the ministry that he's calling us to. And often we come up with barriers and excuses of why we can't do the thing that he's asked us to do. It reminds me a lot about this book I read once called Orbiting the Giant Hairball. And it was a book written by a guy who was head of the creative department in Hallmark. And he was an artist. And he would often go to elementary schools and present to kids that were um, in elementary school wanting to learn about art. And he would have everybody raise their hand. He'd say, "Who here is an artist?" And he would start with first grade, and almost all the kids would raise their hand. "Yes, I'm an artist. I'm creative." And then he would ask the second grade and the third grade and the fourth grade, and on and on. And less kids would raise their hand every year. And his thought behind that was that kids are being talked out of them being creative. And that often happens to us. We get talked out of the things that we're capable of doing. God is a creative God. He's an artistic God. He's a musical God. He loves to create. And often we find ourselves saying, "I'm not creative," or "I'm not an artist," or "I'm not musical," without even giving it a try. We've just talked ourselves into it and saying, I'll never be able to keep a tune in a bucket, or "I'll never be able to be creative. That's just not me." Hello, Amy. But the truth of the matter is we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So don't give up on things just because you've been talked out of it in your life. Um, there are things God has for you that he wants you to do with your life, and you can do it with God's strength. He can empower us to do things that we never thought possible. Moses did not think that he could lead 1 million people out of slavery. But guess what? He couldn't, but God could. God wants to use us in the process, and he can use everyday, ordinary things or ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And he wants to use you to be creative or help people in to get out of things in their life and redeem their life. So this is all to say, whatever's in your hand, God can use. Whatever hand you've been dealt in life, God can use that for his kingdom purposes and his glory. So believe that you were created to do what God's calling you to do. The purpose God has for you, he's not given up on, and he still has that for you. And he wants to do great things through you. So that's a good word for today. Also wanted to remind you, on our Facebook profile is Irving's testimony from yesterday, and please be sure to watch that. It's a very powerful testimony from Irving. I'm thankful that he gave that to us. What a powerful testimony of God transforming somebody's life through people here at Osceola United Methodist. So Really cool testimony. Please watch that. It's probably below this in the news feed. And also, we are taking a trip to Guatemala, where Amber and I used to be missionaries. And the thing back here in the background, that's from Guatemala. So if you are interested in going on that, please comment, message me here on Facebook, or give me a call. We want to sign you up to be a part of what God's doing in Guatemala through Porch de Salomon, the organization that we go and serve with. So please, if you're at all interested, please contact me. We'd love for you to come on the trip. It's October 20th through the 27th, and we're going to be doing some things leading up to that. So please consider it. Take a step of faith. God can use you with the tools that He's placed in your hand. So there's that. I hope that you all have a great week and know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great week. Love you all.